I put a £75 turbo on this old V8 TVR and it gave me endless problems. I had to rewire the entire engine bay, custom fabricate parts to fit the turbo, and spend hours trying to get it running. Today, we're going to sort out all of the issues with this car and take it to a dyno to see how much power this old V8 will make with a tired old turbo strapped to it. In the last video, after days of hard work, we finally got everything hooked up and ready to go, only to hit a disappointing ending when it just wouldn't start. So in this video, the first mission is simple: finally get it running.
We knew that the reason the car wouldn't start had something to do with the complicated wiring system Edwin was working on last time, so he went back through it all, double checking that everything was exactly where it needed to be.
After putting in even more hours sorting out some lingering issues, I was finally confident that we could get the TVR to start up. Okay.
It was a huge relief to finally see the TVR running, but as you'd probably expect, a new problem quickly cropped up.
Okay, so the car starts. That's a very good first part. However, as you can tell by the fact the engine was running quite high, there is an air leak. So I'm gonna hook up the old smoke machine tester. Shout out to the baby oil, which we still use for this. So I've already built up some pressure, and I think you'll be able to see quite quickly where it's coming from. Straight away. That is from the plenum, which means plenum off. Very annoying, but if we don't do it, the car won't run nicely.
With the plenum now properly sealed, it was time to install the last few pieces of the turbo system.
We've making good progress on putting the car back together. I've got most of those air leaks sorted, but before we go for another startup, I must wire up this. Benjamin, what's this?
I don't know.
It's called a Mac valve. It is not a new item on the McDonald's menu. One of these, or something like it, has probably been used in most cool looking turbo cars you've ever seen. This line, going from the intake plenum to the wastegate, is what controls how much boost it makes. Once 12 PSI is here, the 12 PSI spring in here opens and says, no more boost, thank you very much. There's nothing you can do to control that. This right here allows you to talk to it. It essentially goes in between here. You cut this piece open here, you put one end on, you put the other end on here. Once that is clicked in there, your ECU can now talk to this and bleed off air between it. So even though this one might be seeing 12 PSI, this now tells the wastegate, you're only seeing 6. Keep that power coming. And it keeps making power until the desired level, let's say it's 20 pounds of boost, is met. Then it will send through here 12 PSI. You're ready to open, it will bleed off the excess. It's a very easy and quick way of being able to control how much boost this car makes. So right now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna wire this in, I'm gonna take out the 11-pound spring that's in here and put an 8-pound spring in. Then that way the car only ever makes 8. Normally, until we tell it with this, make a little bit more, make the 12 PSI, and hopefully make more power. So I'm gonna wire this in and away we go, more power. With that installed, I tied up a few more loose ends and went for another startup, hoping it would run a bit smoother this time. It's time for a startup again. We're gonna see if it works. And also, it could get a couple revs. Lovely.
That's a running car.
Turbo spinning as well. Now it's not going to sound that good, we're still missing a cylinder. We're still down on 7, not 8. I'm going to check on some last little bits and then let's go tune this thing. With the TVR finally running, it was time to get it ready for its maiden voyage. So I reinstalled the interior and got everything prepped.
All Edwin had left was to bleed the coolant system, which took nearly the entire day thanks to some frustratingly poor English engineering. But at last, we were ready to take this turbo TVR out for its very first test drive.
Right, I've spent, possibly maybe the last 24 hours trying to bleed the coolant system in this car, but I think maybe we've got a little bit closer, which means it's time for something very special. It's time for a first test drive. I'm so excited, but also really scared. Are you ready? I'm just gonna get into a little bit of boost.
Sorry! That was barely 5 PSI.
That was 5 PSI. Right, I'm gonna watch that now. It's okay. That is a tractor turbo pushing this old V8 to maximum boost.
Oh, it's quite without the bonnet, it's quite good.
I was quite done with this car, and now I quite like it again. You know what? First test pass.
It's not bad. Considering what's still missing, it was pretty cool.
So the handbrake was on the whole time.
Yep.
Didn't realise that. It's running on 7 cylinders, not 8. We have another half of boost on top to put in.
Yeah.
And also, it's not properly tuned yet.
Yeah.
Sean has only put a base map on this, hence why we didn't rev it all the way out. Oh, this is good. After a successful first road test, the longer HT lead to get all 8 cylinders running finally arrived. Once installed, Shaun from MS2 Tuning jumped on a call with me to start the tuning process. First, he checked how the car was running with all cylinders firing, then began tweaking the fuel and ignition maps to get it idling safely. Without access to a dyno and him being there in person, he wouldn't be able to properly map it, but he could do the best he could from his holiday away in Spain over the laptop. Right, Shaun has done his thing with the idle and making sure the car is mainly set up. It's now on us, so Ben is getting in the car with me and we're going to road tune this car. So Shaun is still logged in on the laptop. As we do some pulls, he'll then look at the logs and then build a map from there. Ben, you ready?
Sure.
Make some boost?
Bit nervous.
So we took the TVR out for another drive, this time with Shaun remotely accessing the tuning computer. He'd asked me to do a pull in a specific gear at a certain throttle input, then depending on how the car responded, he'd use that data to adjust the map in real time. And it's safe to say that Ben and I were really enjoying the whole experience. The TVR was feeling amazing, and I wanted to keep driving it as hard as I could, which made what came next even more exciting. Second gear, okay. And what level of throttle would you like?
As much as you like.
Oh, absolutely, I can say yes to that. I want this car. Oh, man. Okay, we have had ridiculous progress in the last day. I know it might have not seemed that much footage for you, but us, Ben, behind the camera, I've been all over the place. I have been living a hellscape of trying to make this car work, it not working, ringing someone, speaking to someone in Arabic about something because there's a part that's rare that you can't find, that you can't do. But we made it. We've done it. You went in it, Ben?
Mental.
I went in it. It's very good. And Shaun from MS2 Tuning, who, by the way, I said to him, do you have a website? He was like, nah, just get around by word of mouth. So if you need someone to tune your Mega Squirt, down in the description, Shaun, Ben, don't laugh. It's just called Mega Squirt, mate. It's a normal name. So let's go through the troubles that I went through with this car. These coil packs, these are Volkswagen coil packs. They're called wasted spark, which means it does 2 sparks at once. One on the correct power cycle, one on the exhaust cycle that's just not used, hence wasted spark. However, they go in pairs, but they don't go in pairs to the side of the engine, which meant that one of our leads, this one here, has to go all the way across to there. And we didn't have a long enough lead, so we had to wait, hence why the car was running on 7 cylinders. Got that fixed today, done. Next, a load of boost pipes were wrong or misfitting or didn't work, so I know it's blue. I promise you, it hurts me more than it hurts you. Rich had to do some more custom fabrication, getting this elbow done, and also this little coolant line here, we had to tweak just to turn a little bit so it didn't touch on either the external wastegate. Ben, would you not agree wiring is my biggest op?
Yes.
You know, if it's on site for wiring, and yet I was dropped into the pit of wiring. But you know what? We made it through the other side, so therefore you should subscribe. We're trying to hit 500,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you're not subscribed, please go ahead. We had to wire in the ignition. That was ridiculous, but found it. All done, put the car back together, turn the key, no fuel pump. I had to run an extra line in as a backup fuel pump. Next of all, Shaun then dialed in on the laptop, and the AFR reading we were seeing on here was completely different than what he was seeing on the laptop. And that is an issue because that reading, that gauge, is the basis of all of his calculations. So we had to spend a while trying to work out why the ground wasn't working on that, found it in the end, got there. Next, started the car. The coolant system refused to bleed no matter what. Finally got it bled after about a day of doing it, and then the fans wouldn't work. So it started getting hot again. Had to rewire all of the fans in. That was all probably in the last 2 days. But as of right now, the car runs, it starts. Shaun has said there is a good enough map on it. So shall we go to Charlie at Surrey Rolling Road and see what this makes? The TVR has been an absolute nightmare to put together and has been super stressful at times. Luckily though, behind the scenes, things will be going a lot smoother. And that's all thanks to today's video sponsor, Odoo.
Odoo is an all-in-one management platform providing over 45 apps to help you run your whole business.
One of the apps that we've been finding particularly helpful is the Odoo Sign app.
Odoo Sign lets you upload, customize, send and sign documents in just a few clicks.
You can drag and drop signature fields, names, dates, whatever you need straight into the document. Then assign signers, set the assigning order, and then even send reminders automatically.
It works on any device, it tracks documents in real time, and it gives you a clear status overview. That's signed, pending and declined all in one place. Everything is traceable and compliant with electronic signature laws in over 100 countries. That includes Europe and the US.
With Odoo, the first app is free for life. There's no time limit at all, and you even get unlimited hosting and support for free.
And if you want to scale up and add more Odoo apps, full access to the entire Odoo suite starts at a very affordable price.
So if you're fed up with printing, scanning, and waiting for people to sign things, Odoo Sign is definitely worth checking out. We're here with Charlie. Thank you very much for making space for us as always.
That's all right.
I think I already know what you think.
I think I'm prepared.
You said, oh, so we're running about a safe 6 PSI, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's running 12.
12 will do.
I mean, this could end badly. To be fair, and I don't like doing that, they do make good power.
What's your thought on if it does survive,
Yeah.
what's it making?
It'd be nice to see 400, wouldn't it? Put the fire extinguishers on standby. Let's do it.
Let's see what happens.
After weeks of work, it was finally time to see how much more power this old TVR was now making.
Okay, I'm happy with that straight off the bat. That is close. We are close to the magic 400. Oh, go on. First things first, the brooms, not needed. Actually amazing. Secondly, 415 horsepower is... I'm actually quite surprised. That's quite good.
It is, the fueling is, it is a tad rich.
So to be clear, so Shaun from MS2 Tuning, he had 2 road pulls to make a whole map. So he didn't have long, so he just made it super safe, super rich. Meaning, if this had a proper full map on it, if I gave it to Shaun for a day on a dyno, this would be making really, really good power. I'm over the moon. I don't think we've mentioned it before, but Charlie does Saturdays at Surrey Rolling Road where you can pay him £60 and stick your car on the dyno and see how much power it makes. There's information on your Facebook page on Surrey Rolling Road.
On the Facebook.
If you want Charlie to insult your car and make fun of it, which is what we love, bring your car down on a Saturday, let him stick it on the dyno and see how much power it makes. But thank you very much, Charlie, as always.
Pleasure as always.
Yes, 400 horsepower. Over the moon with that massive power increase, I gave Will a call to see his reaction. And not only that, that is 430 pound-foot of torque.
Jesus Christ. Almost double.
Almost double.
Quite scary.
It's really quite scary. Right, I'll see you back at the unit on Monday.
With the final power figure locked in, it was time to tackle the last few tasks, starting with something this car has needed since day one.
Right, you might remember in the last episode, I mentioned that I wanted this car to have a better power to weight ratio than some 90s cars. The only cars from the 90s that this does not beat in power to weight is the McLaren F1 and the Lotus Elise GT1, which is barely a road car anyway. The cars it does beat, EB110, an XJ220, every Diablo they ever made.
So the fastest car in the world and a Bugatti so far.
I think that's enough power.
That's enough power. But Robin's here from Viking Detail, so you know what time it is.
Robin got to work washing the TVR, starting by spraying the wheels with cleaner, letting the dirt and brake dust bleed out.
Then he rinsed them off, revealing the shiny silver finish we'd yet to actually see.
Next up was the tired old roof canvas, which Robin sprayed with cleaner and gave a good scrubbing.
Then it was time to rinse, which didn't go too well.
Oh dear. Somehow it's raining in the TVR.
Oh well, not much you can do, is there?
Not really, no. It's just British, isn't it? So.
Roof clean, Robin tackled the bug removal on the front bumper, then sprayed the entire car with pre-wash before rinsing it off.
The next step is everyone's favourite, spraying the entire car with snow foam.
With that worked in, it was time for one final rinse, and then the TVR could be dried and brought inside for some much needed paint correction.
But much to Robin's dismay, I asked if he'd be so kind as to give my VX220 a clean, while we stole the TVR for some final modifications.
Right, 2 last final mods and then the TVR is done. Firstly, the studs on here are not long enough to take the new 10mm spacers, which are needed because the original wheel has been rubbing. That is when it's on lock. What we're doing is we're going to put some spacers on it and push those studs longer. Those aren't long enough, so we've got some Sierra Cosworth studs. That's cool. That's just cool to me. But more importantly, in the previous episode, I actually asked Will to do one thing on this TVR. I said, your one job is to create me a stencil for the intercooler. He's just done it now, and it is very cool. I like that a lot.
This might be one of the best things I've ever done.
New studs and spacers installed, it was time to spray Will's stencil. Oh, look at that. I reckon first coat, that's nice. We'll hit him with a couple of those. That's gonna look cool.
After a few more coats, it was time for the big reveal.
Oh dear. He's already slid off a bit. The D is
quite good, I'll tell you what.
It's rough and ready.
This is the guy who does RWB with the, glued on stuff. He did this.
Someone get me a ciggy.
Robin got back to work on the TVR, this time polishing the tired old paintwork, absolutely transforming the car.
With the TVR looking shiny again, Robin turned his attention to the VX220, on which the paint had been so neglected it was almost matte. Right, Robin is going to finish up the final bits on this car, and then we're ready to go for the finale tomorrow.
With both cars looking absolutely incredible, it was finally time to reveal the finished results after all of that hard work.
Both cars are done as they're ever going to be on this current day. We're now preparing for a final episode, which we'll see that next week, but let's have a quick look at both cars.
Ben, would you like to pan around and give a quick tease of what we're doing? Yeah, that's a go-kart track.
Yeah, we are doing that. You will see that next week. We're a bit scared.
What's happened to the VX220 overall?
First off, your eyes are going to be drawn to the brilliant red paintwork. Yeah. Robin worked deep into the night. I actually don't even know what time last night.
I got a photo at 12.
Okay.
I got a photo at midnight.
So he spent a lot of time. This has been transformed. All the scabby bits are still there.
Hey, compared to what we got it as, a dilapidated old foam red looking VX220, it's now lovely. Yeah. It is now really cool.
The wheels now clean, new tyres, the suspension has been set up. In the middle of Robin cleaning, these fell off, and I made an executive decision to leave them off.
They're quite interesting.
I don't think I've seen one like it. Maybe someone has. It's a bit kit car.
Wreck.
I've got a steering wheel spacer, which brings the steering wheel slightly more towards me, which is going to be an absolute treat on that go-kart track, because I'm not going to be smashing into my knee. This was a sloppy, it knocked, it made loads of horrible noises, and now it feels, I call it tight as a drum. We did those engine mounts as well in the last episode. First drive properly since then, no more knock. This is actually a nice car now.
A sorted, nice driving VX220. Yeah. Right, at the start of this episode, this TVR did not run, it did not drive, it had no interior in it. And now, it made it the 40 or 50 miles here, and that's a win for me. For most people, that's their daily commute. For a TVR, that's a big win. So now, this car has 415 horsepower, 430 pound-foot of torque, but more important than any of that, it has a TDC intercooler.
TOC.
It's now had the clean by Robin. This car doesn't look like a dilapidated old TVR now. This car's great. There's still stuff to do. Perhaps many of my dials don't work and I have to have a laptop on the passenger seat to tell me my coolant readings. But we won't worry about that. But they are ready to be tested out on track, and with a load of other challenges, which you will see next week. Click here if you want to watch more videos. Click here to subscribe. See you next week. Get me on this kart track.
Get my helmet going.